Hello, this is Jericho Plays, and I'm going to be doing something a little different from the videos that I normally do. Um, I only have two achievements left on XCOM 2, and that is beating it on Legendary and using the Legacy Tactical stuff, which they introduced later. So we're going to beat it on Legendary. Um, we're not going to do Iron Man. We're going to do Honest Man. Basically, I'm going to save at the start of each mission, and that helps mitigate catastrophic failure from uh, glitches and bugs. This game, I love this game. It's one of my favorite games. Um, but it is sometimes not the most accommodating to an Iron Man run. I have absolutely lost an Iron Man run before on the final mission, and it was maddening. So we're going to not do Iron Man. I don't think we're doing any of these. I could choose which one to start with, and considering it is an incredibly hard game mode, it might be better just to start with a Reaper, but I'm going to let it be random. We're just going to let everything be where it is. We absolutely do not want longer engagements. Basically, this game is going to boil down to how quickly can I kill each pod of enemies. And that is the name of the game, the entire game. There is absolutely strategy involved. On the strategic layer, choosing what to build, what to upgrade, how to spend your resources, and that sort of thing. But every mission is going to come down to, can I kill these enemies quickly before they put damage on me? I do not want a tutorial. I think it's turned off. Yeah. Alright, we are not doing Iron Man because, again, it is an issue. However, we are going, or rather I am going to do the Honest Man. I will save at the beginning of each mission. The only way that I'm going to reload is if a glitch or bug or something prevents completion or is some sort of catastrophic failure. If we wipe and we have to start over from the beginning, so be it. That is kind of what Legend is. I do not want to start with Lost and Abandoned, because that makes it so that the assassin is your first enemy, and the assassin with specific buffs, being that reaction shots don't occur on her, and she has invisibility, and especially in a game mode like Legendary, where the any damage on your units means that they're going to be out for like 15 or 30 days. So having that basically free damage that the assassin can do with Lost and Abandoned is very, very tough. The Lost, which are kind of zombie type creatures, are also incredibly tough. They have more health because we're on Legendary, which means that it's a lot harder to kill a lot of them in one turn, and it's very easy to get swarmed, so we want to avoid them as much as we can, is my understanding. Then let's begin.
Accessing the feed now. We're in. But I don't know for how long.
I'm gonna let the cutscenes play. There's not much of a story, but
security, even for Advent.
That's no ordinary gene therapy
Sweater
clinic.
guy.
They were telling the truth.
Or they're leading us into a trap.
Dressed up as him for a
really
Halloween
obvious
one.
trap. We'd need an army to march in there right now.
I've got a better idea.
When he was Sweater guy and not
This is Central. Go.
incredibly rugged, handsome guy.
timeline you placed upon us, mistakes are bound to happen.
It wasn't our fault. Please!
There's no need for any of this. I will do what you ask of me. I just need additional time. Did you say something? You're one of those. You must understand. I had no choice. Outrider.
Everyone has a choice.
So, you do exist. Outrider to Avenger, I have visual confirmation.
Are you sure?
Reapers are always sure.
I'll take your word for it. Cover your tracks and get the hell out of there. They can't know we were here. Yet.
Understood. Now the real war begins.
They can't know we were here. There is a dead body and a witness left behind. Okay?
Excitement continues to build as city centers across the globe prepare for the 20th anniversary of Unification Day.
Thousands line up at the site of the Great Accord, celebrating the formation of the Advent Coalition.
Keeping with their promise to humanity, 12 new gene therapy clinics will be opening in select cities by the end of the new year.
Despite the attempted attack by fringe elements, operations at the new facility in Paris thankfully remain unaffected.
In response to the unprovoked intrusion on the eve of our most beloved celebration, the speaker reaches out to us.
A small number of dissidents again repeat the mistakes of the old world.
Striking as we celebrate the benevolent savior who time and again offers only friendship and compassion.
Yet these trivial actions could never break the bond between humanity and the Elders.
Peacekeeping forces have already made several preemptive arrests of known collaborators. Advent again assures all citizens that today's celebrations will continue as planned.
Perfect.
The Advent administration reminds you to report all suspicious activity to your nearest peacekeeper. Only together can we build a better tomorrow.
Approaching position. You were right. They've definitely got their hands full today.
Stay focused. Prep Gatecrasher. 60 seconds.
This trope of having to have your hand on your ear is so frustrating to me. Because it's like, the audience is clearly too dumb to know, to like understand that the communication is going on. But in universe, it's so incredibly obvious. Nobody just puts their hand to their ear.
Now.
Signal received. Loud and clear. Okay, Gatecrasher. Your turn.
Alright, now we fuck things up. So, what would that be? Legacy? Tenure? What is it? Bloodline? I don't know. My history with XCOM is not as deep as some people. I'm also not going to pretend to be Beagle Rush. If you want to see somebody play this game with an unreal amount of skill, watch Beagle Rush. But, oh shoot. We have a Templar. Oh no. And I started playing XCOM when the last quote-unquote that's a stutter. The last new XCOM started, or came out rather. I played that a lot. I actually don't know if I've ever beaten the Enemy Within. I don't know, I couldn't get it. But this one, I got as well. So we have Ruben, Jung, Paul, and Fury. So the reason I was hesitant, Templars, there are 3 unique factions within this expansion. Reapers, Skirmishers, Templars. Reapers are like a stealth unit that are, I think, just pretty much considered the best of the 3 factions for something like this. Stealth is generally an incredibly good mechanic. Reapers are, or I'm sorry, Skirmishers are pretty good. They can throw a lot of explosives and a lot of grenades. They can hold an area pretty decently. They have some grappling to like bring enemies to them, go to enemies, that sort of thing. Templars, on the other hand, are meant to be melee units, which is kind of the antithesis of what we are trying to accomplish. Ooh, I don't like this. Kind of the antithesis of what we are trying to accomplish in our tactics. Because the enemies show up in what are called pods. So there is a pod of some number of enemies spread throughout the map. So for example, on Legendary, this first mission, which is really difficult, there are 3 pods. There's a pod of 3 troopers, a pod of a commander and 2 troopers, I believe, and a pod of a sectoid and a trooper. So there are 3 pods. So the goal, so there's that, there is a pod. The goal, it's almost like a mini game. The goal of what we're trying to accomplish is finding and killing each pod in isolation. We only want to activate 1 pod at a time so that we're not overrun with enemies. The Templar doesn't really play that game well because the damage that they do is mostly melee. They have a sidearm of a pistol, but it doesn't do that much damage. And they have psionic abilities, which are really strong, but you have to have already killed some stuff for that to be effective. Or to be an option, really. So here... Okay. Is there a pod directly below me? That was a weird thing. So what I'm doing here is... There aren't any other pods going on right now. We are currently in stealth. We get an aim bonus for... So if you see on the bottom left, they all start at 65 aim because they're rookies, but we're getting a plus 20% bonus for being higher than them. So our aim is actually 87, which is pretty decent. It helps that they're not in cover yet. So this first shot is going to be way better. So... But we only have half cover up here. Cover is very important because it mitigates that aim. The name of the game is to mitigate as much as you can, deal as much damage as you can. So, if I were to activate this pod right now, they would spread into cover. Depending on where the other 2 pods are, they may also activate. There is a slim chance because Ruben is potentially outside of cover from the ones down below, although I don't know if they can really see him. they may take a shot at him. So I'm going to move him over to cover and begin this engagement with him. So they're all the same. Hopefully we deal 4 damage. Kill this. Good. Okay, good start. So, a couple of things. 1, if they survive the mission, they're going to be upgraded to a squatty. That is the rank after rookie. The goal is basically to get them all to get promoted after this mission, so that I can, because when they get promoted, their stats increase as well as they get access to classes, and those classes have special abilities that you use to basically play the game. Also, there was a thing where they gained a point. Now, that's not as important right now, but we can use those points later to upgrade, like, our best troops to, upgrade our best troops with additional special abilities. So we do want to collect those as much as we can. So this is a pretty easy shot. Now, I'm going to take a look here. I actually have an opportunity here to maybe use this Templar and not activate another pod, because we would be going this route here, which we saw probably isn't another pod. There is the risk that I go here, and then there's a pod over here that sees them and activates, which could be a problem. But right now, this Kong, or Fury, I suppose they do have the nickname, isn't going to be doing much. I could use them to throw a grenade to destroy the cover of one of them, but this is, if it hits, well, it's a 100%. So it's a 100% kill, because the minimum damage is 4. If you look in the bottom middle, the damage is 4 to 5. So minimum damage will kill this with a 100% success rate. This is a guaranteed kill on this troop. So what that leaves me now is I can lead with Fury to kill that guaranteed hit and see if it activates another pod, or I can use the other 2, see if I can kill the other remaining one, so I'm not putting Fury into harm's way. Now, Templars do have a special ability. After they attack, they can move, so it's not as big of a deal, but we do want to mitigate how far they, or where they go, like how far they can be seen. So I'm going to attack from here. 1 or 2 spaces sometimes makes the difference. So we're going to try to stay on this side of the trooper, and we're going to kill him and hopefully not activate a pod, but caution is something that we want, but cannot always afford. Alright, so if you see, they gained that focus. That's what they use to spend for their abilities. So we're going to run this guy back into full cover and away from the open, hopefully so that another pod doesn't see them and activate. So now we have these 2. I could take shots here at 69%, which isn't terrible. The low cover is wiping out the height advantage. Or I can throw a grenade, deal some damage, potentially kill them, but we're going to imagine that it's only going to deal 3 damage, destroy the cover, and then have a much better shot to finish them off. I'm going to do that. If I can. Maybe not with this individual. There we go. So we are going to
Grenade out.
Throw a grenade, blow up their cover. Only dealt 3, but now they have that yellow shield, meaning that they're flanked. I have an 89% chance to hit now. Doesn't guarantee I'm gonna hit because this is XCOM, baby, but it's a good shot. Good. Alright, so now that individual has earned the promotion, so we want to get a kill with Zhuang. so that if we can afford it, sometimes it's better just to kill everything so that you don't get got, basically. We want to get a kill with Zhuang so that they get a promotion as well, and then try to feed all the other kills to Fury, because they are already essentially a squatty. And I'm not sure if I should actually look that up, but I'm not sure if the experience after they've earned the promotion actually goes for the troops. But we're going to take this turn here. We're going to go into Overwatch, which, if you know anything about this game, is an incredibly common thing. We're going to reload and go into Overwatch. So now we have as many resources as we can possibly have, save the grenade that we used, to engage the other two pods. Now we want height advantage as much as we can. So before I move from this area, I'm going to bring somebody over here to maybe see if the other pod is on this side, so that we can keep our height advantage.
Done.
If possible. We have time. This is not a timed mission.
I'm on the move.
But now, with my final activation, I don't want to run out here and potentially activate multiple pods. So I'm going to run... Well, I'm going to run here, which could be a bad position. But if it activates a pod, it should only be one on this side. Alright, and now we can switch back into Overwatch. So that is a sound thing saying that there's a pod in that direction, at least one pod in that direction. I know that there are 2 other pods on this map, so I still want to be cautious. And again, I don't want to give up that height advantage if possible. So I'm going to use the melee to kind of move forward and see if I can trigger a pod. Ooh, if that was full cover, maybe. I could go there, but then it's potential that I get flanked from this side. So again, this is not a timed mission, so we're just going to hold our high ground and see if maybe they walk into our area. There we go. Good 4 damage on the sectoid. And now that pod should be either moving towards us or retreating, but we still have the high ground. Nice. So we're getting these free shots because we kind of held our position. We can't always do that because of there are a lot of timed missions. But here we want to be as cautious as we can be. Oh, you've used your grenade already, but I need you to kill somebody. We're in a very scary situation here. Okay. We're in a very scary situation here because we don't want to activate the 3rd pod before we finish up these 2. But I do want Kong to get over here. So, since this is the furthest forward we're going to go, I'm going to do that at the beginning to see if we activate the other pod. Doesn't look like we do. This is a guaranteed kill on the sectoid. So I'm going to pause for a moment and let Zhuang try to take a shot here. Is there a better position?
Aye, aye.
And because I do want them to get a kill for the... Nice. Okay, so they've gotten a kill. Now I'm going to try to feed all the kills into my Templar. Also, that sectoid dropped an item, so I have 3 turns to either win the mission and it collects the item, or to put somebody in that square to collect it. This being the hardest difficulty, we want everything, because every little thing makes a difference. Alright, so we're gonna throw you here.
Good copy. Moving on target.
And throw a grenade over here. Oh, it's outside of the range. Alright. So we may have to just take shots.
Affirmative. Moving out.
I could focus now, or volt now. It could potentially kill them. Realistically, we're not going to deal 4 damage. We're probably only going to deal 3, so I'll take shots with these. Oh, okay. I'm... Alright. Cool. I'm fine with that. So, we're just going to set up an Overwatch real fast. Again, we're not on a timed mission, so there's no big hurry. We've dealt with 2 of the pods. I'm going to move them forward to pick up this item. Ah, beautiful. Elerium cores are used to make weapons and armor, which we're going to want later. And then I'm just going to reload and Overwatch again.
Back in business.
It is unlikely the 3rd pod is going to come to us, but it's also the most dangerous because it has a commander who has really high aim and access to explosives. I don't know if they have grenades on this first mission, but guaranteed damage is really good for us. It is also really good for them. Getting hit with the grenade, can I... Oh, are we going to get some shots? Good. Nice. So as you see, the Templar dealt 2 damage. So that is... that's respectable. But, but it doesn't deal as much damage as most of the other troops have. Okay, so we are now engaged in a firefight. Can jump, may not jump. Can I kill this one? 5? Okay, so we can kill the commander and then run away. So we're gonna do that to start with. Nice. Wonderful. So we dealt more damage than the first time because each focus increases the damage. And as you see now, I have momentum. So now I can run back to full cover. And hopefully they don't take damage. Ooh, we do not have... Do I only have 1... shot here? Oh, that's not good. I don't really want to give up my high cover. Especially going against their high cover. Or rather, I don't want to give up my height advantage, especially when this one has high cover. Okay. Well, I'll give up my height for full cover and maybe take a shot at the... yeah. Nice, okay. Alright. So I could run forward, potentially grenade them, and then have Zhang finish them off. Don't know how far my grenade is gonna go, but that should be far enough. Unfortunately, I don't have full cover to go into, so this had better work.
Roger that.
They might still have cover because the grenade may not destroy the full cover of the tree and the planter. We could be lucky and this just kills them. Nice, okay. That's a good mission 1. Alright, that's an excellent Gatecrash mission. Okay. So we'll do some of the strategic layer, or at least go through the promotions and that sort of thing. And then that's episode 1. I'm just gonna do them based on the mission. But that was a beautiful, beautiful opener.
According to Advent officials, recent attacks by dissident elements operating outside of the city centers have done little to slow the progress of Advent's ongoing development or outreach.
I have this installed on an SSD, which is why the load times are actually not that bad. Because the load times can be pretty rough. But yeah, it's choppy sometimes, like there. Oof. Oof. Wow. Dropping frames. All right. So they are a specialist. Basically, that means that they can do combat or healing. They're going to be combat. Healing is not as important on Legendary because if they take damage, of course the guy with the eye patch looks like Snake is going to be a sharpshooter, basically a sniper. I'm hoping this is a heavy, but probably could be Ranger. Either one is actually fine, but okay, so we don't have a heavy, which are very helpful early game, but that's okay. All right. So there's a couple of things to note here. I don't want to do that yet. Oh, whatever. We'll just be we'll be fine here. I will talk about that on the next episode. So we got that Illyrium core, and we got some corpses. So I will see you next time. This has been Jericho Plays.